Hello, everybody. Welcome to the United Hotspot, and we are edging ever closer to the big one, Man United Liverpool in the FA Cup quarter-final, a final before a final. I was about to say a semi-final. I'm too excited. You know what? I've not had so many people predict that Man United has a chance against Liverpool, but guess what? I'm one of the few ones. And guys, you can comment by letting me know whether you think Man United will win it. And this is the opportunity for us to judge who the real Man United supporters are, because no Man United supporter, regardless of how poor we are, will say we are going to lose against Liverpool at Old Trafford. Come on. I hope you don't do it. But drop down in the comment section and let me know what you think. My name is Webb. This is the United Hotspot, and we're back again, the night show. Now, there's a lot to talk about. We are going to talk about that predicted starting 11 from me. The guys, I hope Erik Ten Hag will be starting in that game. We'll talk about them in a bit. But there is also something from the boss, Erik Ten Hag, talking about the youngster, Kobbie Mainoo, telling people, don't do it. Don't compare him to Clarence Seedorf. That is according to Erik. We'll talk about that in just a bit. But the most part of this conversation is going to look at how on earth we are going to approach this game in terms of personnel, which players. Højlund could be back, is expected to be back in the team, but there is a sad story making rounds about Rasmus Højlund. Apparently, after that interview with the United stand, he was attacked by some players in the dressing room, and some Man United players, of course. Some of these funny players, they, you know what you keep talking about, the player power at Man United, that apparently they were confronting him for doing an interview with a fan channel that keeps bashing Manchester United. And guess what? Apparently there are also threats. They are taking it further, that he's getting death threats just because of that interview. Now, I think for me, this is hearsay. I won't give it so much talk. I won't give it so much attention. But that's there. But don't you care? The boy is most likely going to be there for the game against Liverpool. Whether he will be starting or not, I don't know. But if he's fit enough to be on the bench, I'm thinking he should be starting. We need him on the pitch. Now, Kobbie Mainoo, I was just talking about him in earlier on. Erik Ten Hag had an interview speaking to I think Sky, and he was asked about the current ongoing popular comparisons of Kobbie Mainoo to so many players. Some compare him to Didier Drogba, which I personally think is really blasphemy or sacrilege, for lack of a better word, and not disrespect. Drogba is extremely talented. I watched an interview, Declan Rice saying the toughest player he has played against is Didier Drogba. No, why do I say Didier Drogba? Paul Pogba, not Didier Drogba. Sorry, Paul Pogba. Now, the toughest player Declan Rice has played against is Paul Pogba, according to him. Now, no disrespect to Pogba. On his good day, he's an impeccable player. But I honestly think, for me, Kobbie Mainoo has shown, signs that he will be a better player than him. But I will not go into those comparisons. Let's respect the guy who has been banned out of the game for 4 years. But so Erik Ten Hag was asked about the comparisons of Kobbie Mainoo to Clarence Seedorf, and he said, which I like, don't you compare players to any other players. Let players build their own identity. Let players be who they are. And honestly, I think it's a mature way to respond. He's probably learning to answer questions in press conferences. At times, he has said a few things that have put me off personally as a Man United supporter. I think that was a good response. I do it, Seedorf and so many players, but I've been consistently saying that Kobbie Mainoo is different. He's a special player. His abilities are different from anything we've seen in that position where he plays. I think he's just a specially gifted player. And Erik Ten Hag put it right. His skills are typical of him. There is no one you can compare to him to. And I thought that was a good thing, to come from the boss. So he says, don't do it. Don't you make those comparisons of Kobbie to Clarence Seedorf. But let's get into the game. Let's get into the game. So I've just put for you there my probable lineup there, and you see Højlund is there up top, and we'll debate about who should start and which game plan should Erik Ten Hag come up with. Are we going to take the same approach we took to the Etihad Stadium, playing at home against Liverpool, because we are respecting a team that is clearly better than us in terms of how they play, and even in position in the league? And this is not a league game, remember, and certainly cup games are always different. I've been saying it. For us, this is a final. This is a final. That's how you approach a cup game. Because if you lose, you're gone. You're not playing. There's nothing to protect. You either lose or you win. That's it. So the approach has got to be different. There is no, that I'm home, that you've got to be cautious, you want to protect the home pride. No, it's a win. If you lose, you're beaten out of the competition. You don't want to go into penalties. So, and forget this talk of Liverpool has played 2 more games from the last time we played against Everton, because Liverpool has got depth in their squad. I'm imagining the players they will field playing against in the Europa League tonight, which players they will field, and you expect certainly they're going to rest so many players. And let me try to look at their line. I think the lineups are not yet out. The game is, they're actually out. So this is the lineup that Liverpool has come up with, but it's decent by the way. Probably he's trying to warm up some of the players. So they have chosen to rest the captain. So the captain is not there. Is he rested or is he on a card? I'm not sure, but he's not there. Virgil van Dijk. So Kelea is there. They don't have Alisson. By the way, that's a huge miss for them. Big one. Again, they won't have him for the Man United game. They won't have. So there is no Alisson, no Trent Alexander-Arnold, no Diogo Jota, and no Gravenberch. Those are the players Liverpool will miss when they face us on Sunday in the FA Cup. So, but today they are playing right now. Later today they are playing against Sparta Prague, and they have Bradley on the right, Gomez, Kwanzaa, Robertson. Then in the middle, they've got Endo, Clark, Bosley, Gapco up front, Nunes as the 9, and Mohamed Salah. Of course, Salah has got to need to get some minutes in his feet to be fully fit to try and torment us on Sunday. So, not so many players rested, perhaps. McAllister is not in. No, they have no McAllister. They've got no Van Dijk. Salah is here. Szoboszlai is here. Endo, I think, is becoming an important player. Once as well, I think, is another good player for them. I saw him against City. So they have not really rested so many players. Maybe that could be an advantage for us in terms of, how many games they have played before they come to face us. But you see, in such a game, it doesn't matter how many games you've played. The psyche is always going to be there if you're a serious team. Namutebi Rita, I see. Good evening, friends and family. Good evening, Namutebi. Good to have you on. So, but for me, regardless who they have, I don't think we need to dig into a lot into what they have. I think we need to focus on what we have. And to be honest, there is no excuse for Man United to lose against Liverpool at home, regardless what injuries we have. I think first of all we should avoid being mauled, and it's possible on a bad day. Liverpool is that kind of team. A Jurgen Klopp team is the kind of team that when it goes right, they can obliterate you and leave you for dead. They beat us 7 before. Now we know that we cannot afford to lose 7-0 again anyway. But of course, I've seen people predicting that it could be another whitewash like that. I don't see that happening. If it did, I think Erik Ten Hag would resign instantly. He wouldn't even wait to be sacked. But I don't think that would happen. But on a good day, it's not that we can completely rule it out. If we come and don't show up, trust me, Liverpool, if they are good, if they click, they will do it. And if they get early quick goals, it's done. They disorganize you, jitters on, and done and dusted. But I'm going to go deep into the approach and what game plan, and you can give me your opinion. Should we go all out to attack? Should we be cautious and wait for them the way we approached Man City? What is the approach you think we should take? For me, this is what I think. This is a cup game, and you approach a cup game differently from a league game. If it were a league game like it were the first leg, if it were United Liverpool in the English Premier League, like the game we played a goalless draw, I think it's okay for you to play for a point, because a point really against the team that's so far ahead of you in a league is not really a bad result. You're thinking, I can go play for a point in this one, then piece it up in the other smaller teams by beating them. So that would be a good approach. But in a cup game, if you just have one result to play for, there's got to be a winner, and you don't want to go into penalties. So my thinking is we do want to have a mentality of winning. Let's go to win this game. That's one. Number two, I have been, of course, I went and looked at the squad that we had in the game where it's the only game I think Liverpool has failed to score. The goalless draw at the Anfield Stadium. That goalless draw we had, when Onana kept a clean sheet to become the only goalkeeper now in the Premier League to keep a clean sheet against Liverpool. Now, in that game, I've been looking at the squad we had, and actually I'm thinking the players we have available now are better than the players we had at that time. If I'm to remind you, Of course, Andre Onana was in goal. At that time, we were not yet exactly sure of him and his abilities. He wasn't really at 100. But we had Andre Onana in goal. In the right, we had Diogo Dalot. Then on the left, Luke Shaw was there. Central defense, we had Varane and Johnny Evans. Then in the middle, we had Amrabat, Scott McTominay, who was the captain in that game, and Kobbie Mainoo. There was no Casemiro. Casemiro is available this time. Then up front, we had Højlund. On the right, we had Antony, and on the left, we had Garnacho. No, I think on the left, is it Rashford who started or is it Garnacho? Let me try to remember. But you see that if you look at that squad and the players we have available now, clearly, I think we have a better squad than we had when we were playing. We are getting that goalless draw at Anfield, by the way. So that's why I say this is a cup game. We are at home, and we know this is the only chance United has got to win a title. We can have the confidence to go out there and face them like men. Now, this is supposed to be a man's game because it's really a rivalry. This is the biggest rivalry in English football, probably in world football. We don't care who is fit or who isn't. Every player who is good enough to be in a United jersey on a match day like that has got to know you've got to play your lungs out, run your lungs out, play your feet off. Your studs can melt. You've got to fight because we can't lose. We can't be knocked out. And that's why I've got a good feeling that we can actually go out there and beat this Liverpool team. And not even in penalties, in 90 minutes proper. So for me, the game plan, do we sit back like we did against Man City, play, back five, and then three, I think play the 5-3-2 or something? I don't think so. I think that will be us giving too much respect to Liverpool at home. It will look bad for the supporters, first of all. It's like we're already giving up. If it were away, maybe. But at home, it's like you're already admitting that, you know what, we've surrendered. We are not good enough. We've surrendered, which I don't think would be good, not even for the fans, because remember, if we are going to have the home support, if the fans are going to be rallying behind this team, they must feel like we are playing to win the game. They must feel like we are confident in the football we're playing. So for me, that's where and now that's what will lead me to my probable lineup. I don't think for me we need to try and pack the midfield the way we did. And I know Liverpool can be direct. The only way, because we played a 4-3-3, I think. We played a 4-3-3 against them in that goalless draw, and we blocked them. We didn't pack the midfield really that much. We didn't pack the defense. But we are disciplined and we tamed them. So why fear them when we're at home? So for me, I think we can stick to our 4-2-3-1, but play it right. If Erik Ten Hag can just decentralize and have Kobbie and Casemiro blocking on the right and on the left, forget about Casemiro being a schemer. Let us just have two blocking midfielders on the left and on the right. Then let Bruno stay up and do the number 10 duties. We're okay. They will not run us down in the middle. That's all. But if he goes again to his single pivot, then that is where the problems will come, because Liverpool have got so many quick players through the middle. But we'll get to that. Now, let me get into the lineup. And as you can see there, that's my probable 11. Of course, Andre Onana is in no debate right now. Of course, back a couple of months ago, he would debate about Onana and Baindil whether he would start or not. I think now it's clear he has earned his place as a starter in that team. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Højlund, and Harry Maguire are expected to be back. Now, for me, if those players are even 80% fit, for me, they should be starting. If all those players are 80% fit, they should straight in come in there and start. Maybe we can debate about Johnny Evans and over Harry Maguire over Johnny Evans. But you see, whereas Johnny Evans and Varane did it well in that goalless draw against Liverpool back then, I feel like this game might be a little too much for Evans. If we don't have a natural left back, you want to have a little bit of more physicality. I think we might need a little bit of physicality. And that's where Harry Maguire would come in. So for me, this is my probable lineup. So of course in goal, Andre Onana. Varane is there in the central defense. Now, Evans and Harry Maguire, either of the two can start, but I think if Harry Maguire is fit at even 90%, I think Harry Maguire can start because of his physicality. Because this is going to be, it will get physical at some point. Such games always get physical. So you want players who can give you that bit of physicality because you know they have got their giant in Van Dijk. So you need a Harry Maguire when it comes to those set pieces to go out there and tussle with him. Then you know that they've got a Pessi Mo Salah who's going to be playing against someone who is not a natural left back. You need that physicality of Harry Maguire, who is going to be most likely playing on the left, to go wide and try and support, even if it's Varane. But there is a bit of the physicality that Maguire gives us that we might need in this game. For me, I would choose him if he's 90% fit over Rafael Varane. Then the other debate then would be on Diogo Dalot and Wan-Bissaka. I said if Wan-Bissaka is even 70% fit, he should start in the left ahead of Lindelof. Now, we can debate because we've seen both Wan-Bissaka and Diogo Dalot play on the left. How are you, Web? Anes Kavuta. Yes, Anes, I'm good. How are you doing, brother? How is it? What's happening? Welcome aboard. So, for me, Diogo Dalot or Wan-Bissaka, who goes on the left? Remember, the biggest threat that Liverpool has comes from their right wing. The best right winger, arguably, in the Premier League now, or for so many years, Mo Salah, plays on the right. Now, who tames him? It can't be Lindelof. He will twist and turn him like a salsa dancer. So we can't afford. I think that's no debate. So who then is that going to be? My thinking is Wan-Bissaka did well against Everton. If you do recall, the last game he played when he got injured, Wan-Bissaka was doing extremely well on the left. I actually was surprised by how good he was. The thing with Wan-Bissaka is he's daring and bold. He won't be bullied by Mo Salah. That is one. Two, Mo Salah is not yet 100% fit. That's another advantage, that even if Wan-Bissaka has not been playing for a long time, if he's back training and is fit to be in the squad, he can try to match him. That is two. But also, Wan-Bissaka just knows how to time the ball. His tackles are well timed. It's difficult. I think before his injury, he was the best defender when it came to 1v1 situations in the Premier League, probably in Europe. He was up there among the top three, probably. So you need, against Mo Salah, you need that kind of player who is going to give him proper work to do. So for me, Wan-Bissaka on the left, then Diogo Dalot on the right. And some people can want to invert Diogo Dalot and put Diogo Dalot on the left and put Wan-Bissaka on the right. But I think that whereas Diogo Dalot also played decently well as a left back, I think he has played the right back way too many times that now it would be disorganizing even for him to now twist him and put him on the left. But also, in this kind of game where we know Liverpool is going to be on the ball a lot more than us, we shall need the crosses that come in from Diogo Dalot. And those crosses only come in when he's playing on the right. So we cannot afford to flatten the right, because his crosses could be the assist, could deal the goals. It could be our closest chance to a goal, because we won't get so many chances on that side. So I think for me, removing Dalot from the right and putting there Bissaka, who is not good with overlapping crosses, runs and crosses, I think would be a disservice, and it would be sort of handicapping ourselves. So keep Dalot on the right, Wan-Bissaka on the left. Yeah, for me that is exactly what I would do. Then Namtebi Rita is saying Bissaka is the most option for me. Exactly. Thank you. So that is one. Now then we go in the middle, and this is where Erik Ten Hag has got to be creative. He can choose to pack the midfield, play a 4-5-1, for example, put 5 guys just running and waiting to catch them on the counter, the way we try to approach against Man City. But you see, the risk in such an approach is you're against a team that knows how to use the ball. They're always going to create the pinholes, because you have an overload. They will come running at you. Eventually, these players will capitulate. They will give in, and the spaces will be found, and they'll be punished. Now, but also, you don't want to send bad signals to the fans that you're already in fear of this Liverpool team. You cannot respect them like that, because the home support is going to be so important for us in this game. So if we start with this respect to Man City, rather to Liverpool, and we are not trying to play them, but we are just sitting back and waiting for them, I think it's going to make us look extremely bad. So for me, in the middle, I think put Kobbie Mainoo blocking on the left, Casemiro blocking on the right. So that's already balanced, because the problem is against such a direct team, if you don't balance either sides of the midfield, they are going to come for you. I don't think Mount should also be part of the game. I don't think Mount will be fit enough to play really. I think Mount will come after the international break. I think he has been out way too long that it's difficult to start him against Liverpool really. I think it will be an overstretch for him. I don't think he's going to be there. I think he will be reintroduced back slowly. But so have Kobbie Mainoo block on the left, Casemiro blocking on the right. Already those two can tame whichever direct pace Liverpool will bring at us. Because this side, the left-hand side of the pitch, so if you cut the middle from the penalty spot, where the penalty spot is in the goal, on the left, that is Kobbie Mainoo's zone in the middle. Then on the right, that's Casemiro's zone. So anything on that side, Casemiro will be there to tame it. Anything this side, Kobbie Mainoo is there to tame it through the middle, but also assisting Wan-Bissaka when Mo Salah becomes too much for him. So for me, I think that is a balance that has always been lacking. So you don't really need to overload the midfield, because then you're going to reduce your creativity, your chances of getting at them and scoring goals. But remember, you're at home, and if we respect them so much and they overcome at us like Man City did, imagine if the Man City game was at Old Trafford. And we saw how Liverpool, I think, had more chances on goal than Man City. So Liverpool can be worse than Man City. So if we respect them like that, it's going to be bad. So for me, that is important. That balance, and then it will slow down the pace of the game. When you slow Liverpool down, you disorganize them. You disorganize them, and you can beat them. When you slow them down, when you kill their directness, slow them down, you disorganize them. That is important. Then number 10, of course, false 9. And we've had Bruno as false 9. We've had Marcus Rashford. It doesn't work, guys. As long as Højlund can stand on his two legs and run and shoot a ball, kick with the right, kick with the left, he should start. Even if he just stays there and waits to just tap in, the ball will get at him. But he should start ahead of anyone you can think of. Then, of course, Garnacho and Marcus Rashford. That's the most likely option. But of course, now you can talk about Scott McTominay and thinking, could Scott McTominay add us something in the middle if he started? If Højlund is not fit enough, Scott McTominay definitely should be the player coming in. Then that would mean Bruno is going to be pushed out wide in the right, have Marcus Rashford as the false 9, then Garnacho goes on the left. Now, for me, I love seeing Garnacho on the left. I love seeing him there. It doesn't matter who is playing elsewhere. By that, if Garnacho is playing on the left, we have more chances of getting a goal, regardless who is playing false 9. If Garnacho is playing on the left. But I think if Højlund is there, I don't want to imagine this game without Højlund. For as long as he can be fit, even if he gives us 60 minutes, he needs to be starting, because he's a threat. He's a threat in himself. He's a threat by himself. Just him being there is going to keep Van Dijk on his toes. So he has got to be, he has got to be starting to just keep this Liverpool team disciplined and worried. They need to have someone to worry about. But the arrogance and pride of Van Dijk, give him Marcus Rashford as a false 9, and trust you me, he will have a field day in office. He will go to the beach and chill. So that squad, realistically, for me, is better than the squad we had when we were getting that goalless draw. So why not come out there and play for a win? Because this is a rivalry that does not matter who is fit or who isn't. That for me is how I would see it. But maybe Of course, right now it's difficult to think that Marcus Rashford can be put out of the team. It's, I think, really illogical. It's insane to say even. But of course, in the long term, he will certainly not be there in the long term. But in the long term, I think the one player I will know I will pull out of that squad, especially when it comes to midfielders going forward, is Marcus Rashford. In the long term, he will be the one player I'll be pulling out. So that's for me my predicted 11. You can give me your opinion and let me know, in your view, whether you think that would give us a chance. But also give me your prediction. Give me your prediction. What do you think is the realistic result? What do you think is the realistic result for Man United? Hmm? So yesterday's poll about the minimum amount United should accept for Rashford, I'm seeing 47% people out of 88 votes, 48%, 47% think it's 80 million. So we value him at about 80 million. So yeah, I think I agree. That's the exact value I think I would. Did I post this poll twice? I actually posted this poll twice. Interesting. I didn't notice that. I've just noticed it now. But it's okay. It's all Man United. So John O'Shea, when did you last hear of John O'Shea? Robinson Francis, wewe ni Mkenya. Bwana Robinson Francis, vipi bwana? Wanasemaje? So yeah, John O'Shea, I don't know, and it's funny, I've been thinking about John O'Shea recently. I actually was talking about him one of these days. Too fine, Raj. How are you, brother? Where have you been? Hi, Web. Good evening to you. Good evening, Raj. Good to have you on back on. I've been thinking about John O'Shea lately, and it's funny that he had an interview with Man United. I think on before the Everton game, and he was saying he's saying United need to capitalize on the fact that Liverpool are playing a couple of games before us. And I honestly don't think, for me, for such a rivalry, and Liverpool know that this is their most important game. I mean, doesn't come. There are the only two guaranteed meetings between Man United and Liverpool a season are two, home and away in the Premier League. But they know that they have got to psych themselves up for such a game. So I don't really think they would be affected by them playing two more games. In fact, they could use it as an advantage to be betterly placed for the game, or prepared for the game. But it was good to see John O'Shea, who for me was, I think, in Sir Alex Ferguson's time, was our most versatile player. He would come in, I think he would even play as striker or goalkeeper if he was called upon. Very important player, but not quite unsung. I don't know. In this team, I think the only player I can try to compare with Victor Lindelof to John O'Shea is Victor Lindelof. And it turns out, by the way, I don't know whether you knew, that Lindelof, in an interview released a few days ago, said that when he was earlier in his career, he played as a midfielder. He was a midfielder earlier, and he was just converted into a defender. Meaning, when with these injuries we have under Erik Ten Hag, don't be surprised one day if Lindelof is starting in the middle. So it's very possible. But also, did you know, and I said it here before, guys, I don't know when new people will give me my flowers. I said it here before and people were arguing with me. I've been telling people that in my heart of hearts, I believe Kobbie Mainoo can play better number 10 than anyone we have at United. Can you imagine? This boy said it himself. In an interview with Sky, I think it was shared, I think a few days ago, him and Garnacho were having a light interview with one of those Sky Sports guys, and Kobbie Mainoo said he was a striker and a number 10. Those were the positions he was playing until he was turned into a holding midfielder recently when he got into the under 19 of Man United. But before, the earlier years. So he's learning how to play holding midfield on the job. Can you imagine? This was Kobbie Mainoo saying it himself. But can you imagine? I said it here before, and I've been telling you, I think Kobbie Mainoo can be a very good number 10 for us. But he said he was a striker. 9 and 10 were his natural positions earlier in his career. In fact, he played them longer than he has played. When do they take applications for the Ten Hag job? Because I think I stand a chance. But to be honest, I think this Man U. Anyway, so yeah, Kobbie in number 10. I'm imagining a situation, by the way, if we have Casemiro fit and we've got to play Scott, Bruno isn't there. I would risk, if I'm Erik Ten Hag, play Casemiro and Scott as the two holding midfielders and play Kobbie as a number 10. You see, without a striker, that boy is too smart. He will score goals. You want your smart test players close to your goal. I'm imagining Kobbie in number 10 is like Zinedine Zidane. Imagine that boy in number 10. The class, his class, the things he does, the way he beats off 5 guys easily. Now put him in a shooting distance to goal. I think he can assist more than Mesut Ozil and David Silva combined. Because he's so strong. Garnacho was saying the one thing he loves about Kobbie, he admires about Kobbie's game is his strength. Then Kobbie said he admires his, was it speed? It was an interesting light interview, by the way. It was an interesting light interview. If you didn't watch it, it's nice to see. If you love Kobbie like I do, you would enjoy watching that interview. But Kobbie in 10, imagine remove Bruno from there. Play, even if, by the way, you put Casemiro where Kobbie is, put Bruno where Casemiro is because he has played there before as a number 8, then Kobbie in 10. Erik Ten Hag should try out things. Kobbie in 10 would make half of Liverpool stay in their half. Do you know that? And some of these tactics should be mind games. Put Kobbie in 10 and Højlund up top. Van Dijk will never leave his box. This Gomez, these guys who want to go and add to the attack, Liverpool will play with only one forward. Because if Kobbie is in 10, they know how much damage that boy can cause. But the deeper you put him and make him run around like a headless chicken, you're killing him. But that's our Erik Ten Hag for you. That's our Erik Ten Hag for you. He's the one praising the boy for having skills typical of him. But he doesn't do things to show that he appreciates that this boy is unique. He does the obvious. And he expects different results. Does the same thing every day. So on Sunday, he will still come, perhaps try to play with one pivot, a single pivot, Casemiro. They run him down. These, these little boys who have got so much energy on them. Ten Hag. Anyway, give me your prediction. My prediction, I think Man United will win 2-1. My prediction is 2-1. Kobbie Mainoo and Garnacho. 2-1. Kobbie. Oh, did I say? Okay, I won't include Højlund because if Højlund starts, it will be 3-1 and he will score. If he doesn't, it will be Kobbie, Garnacho 2-1. If Højlund starts, 3-1. That's my prediction. Liverpool will come at you. They are good, they are pacey, they are energetic, but they are beatable. If you have a good game plan against them, if you don't respect them, you're bold, they're beatable lot. They're beatable lot. So, Willy Kambwala, our 2 latest debutants in the Premier League, have received awards from the Premier League for their debuts. Kambwala and Omar Foson, they received awards from the Premier League for their debuts. And yeah, you love to see it. I mean, these are young, promising players. Some of the United Academy is fast becoming the most admired academy, I think, in world football today. Before it was Southampton, Ajax, and which other team had a good academy? I think it was mostly Southampton at Ajax. And Atalanta, I think, lately. But Man United's academy is looking good, and you want to give it to them because then it gives us a good time. Then that shows that it's a good time now for Man United to be rebuilding, because if you have a good academy, it's certainly good. Gareth Southgate has named the England squad, and Kobbie Mainoo has been left out. He's most likely going to be in the under 21 team. Now, Gareth Southgate has been asked, it's Marcus Rashford and Harry Maguire, the two players we want out in the summer. They are the only two Man United players in the England national team. Now, for friendlies, they've got a friend against Brazil and some other team I forget. Now, why he left out Kobbie Mainoo? Because you remember, all these England legends were hoping that Mainoo will be in the England team for the Euros. But he says he's doing brilliant for a young player. We are never slow to put a young player into the seniors, but he's only had a handful of games. He's getting some fabulous experience at Man United. He looks really good character. That is according to Gareth Southgate. There is a way these English guys have just owned this boy even before he has probably announced his decision on where he wants to play. I don't think he has come out yet and said I've chosen to play for England over Ghana. But the way the English are too entitled to him, it's like there is no option for him. He's English and he can only play for England. Yet we don't know. He could choose to play for Ghana. It could be and be the reason he's not in the squad, because it's a bit odd that he's not. But of course, I love the fact that I think he has not been given that pressure. I think he still needs to develop really. I think with the clutter that Southgate has in the middle, you don't want to disorganize. Kobbie Mainoo is the kind of player who arrives in training and he will change your mentality, your approach entirely. The teammates will be the first to say, you know what, this boy should be starting ahead of us, and that would disorganize everything he's been building. This boy is good enough to disorganize whatever Gareth Southgate has been building with this England squad. So it was probably a safe decision for him to leave him out. But he'll most probably be someone for the under 21s. I hope he has already made the decision to play for England. We don't know yet what he has decided, but he's not going to be, most likely he won't even play the Euros if he hasn't been summoned now, unless things change and he's impeccable and or what, I don't know, or there's an injury to someone, but he's most likely not going to be in the Euros. So these are the reported Man United sales this summer. And guys, Greenwood, it seems we who are for Greenwood back, I think we might be forced to accept the defeat. But for me, it's not yet. For you, those of you with little faith, you can give up. For me, until the last day, until when it is confirmed on the Man United website that Mason Greenwood has been sold, I will not accept this whole speculation. The United are going to sell him. They have agreed he should leave for 40 million. Da, 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 da. I'll give you the reports here, the updates, the rumors, what I hear from Carrington, but I will not squad on your screen. Remove Marcus Rashford, put Garnacho there, put Greenwood on the right, Højlund up top. Guys, we can even stay with every other player we have, and we'll still be competing with Man City and Liverpool and all these other so-called big teams. So that's how good that boy is. But the reported Man United sales this summer, apparently Greenwood for 30 to 40 million pounds. That's disrespect of the highest order. That's even the more annoying bit. Sancho, clearly, I think United does not want to have him back. Even if he's scoring goals, I think he has scored, 4 and assisted 3 for Dortmund. I don't know in what, but it doesn't matter. United, I think, have made a decision. He's not returning, and they'll be willing to take a proper loss on him. That's a loss. I think that's an L we swallowed long time. So Sancho for about 30 million, they hope. I think it can be more than that, really. He's 20 what? How old is Sancho? Is it 25 yet? I don't even think he's 25. He would be the most. He's 23. He's so young. I think, whereas he's not so good. I think 30 million would be too little. Ah, shit. What did I do? 30 million would be too little for Sancho. So United seem to be willing to let go of him. Scott McTominay, 30 to 40 million. Amrabat, Martial, and Varane, those will be released. Of course, Christian Eriksen, Anthony Martial, Donny van de Beek could be sold as well. I wonder who would buy Donny van de Beek. Then there is a Williams I had even forgotten about. They could be sold as well. Christian Eriksen, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, Antony, Maguire, Lindelof, Pelistri, Ahmad, all players Man United will listen to offers for this summer and potentially offload. I think, okay, for Ahmad, it's the frustrations maybe, but I think, well, whereas we might listen to offers for all these players, I don't think we can sell all of them at once in one summer. I think that would be too drastic and dangerous. You don't sell half of or even 3/4 of your squad at a go. I think it has to be a subtle. Maybe some could leave in Jan, the next Jan, but most in the summer. For me, in the summer, if we sell Marcus Rashford and either bring back Greenwood or get a proper replacement for the right wing and Garnacho goes on the left, then we sell Casemiro, buy a backup, then buy a backup striker, sell Casemiro and buy a replacement, buy a backup striker for Højlund and a centre back. Or if Casemiro stays fit in the summer, sell Marcus Rashford, buy a replacement for him, or bring back Greenwood if you decide. But if not, buy a winger, then buy a backup striker for Højlund and a centre back, then buy a left back. I actually think right now, honestly, whereas we've got issues in the middle, I think the left back department is more wanting than Casemiro's position. I think I can afford to stick with Casemiro for 6 more months. Yeah, as I look for a long-term solution or even a season. But I cannot afford to go beyond next summer without a left back. I cannot afford to go beyond next summer without a backup striker. I cannot go beyond the next summer with Marcus Rashford in the team. And I cannot go beyond next summer without a proper centre back. So the 4 positions that I think should be most important for United in the summer, before we think about anything, the 4 positions are centre back, left back, who has overtaken the holding midfielder. So left back, centre back, left back, backup striker for Højlund, and Marcus Rashford out and a replacement for him. For me, those are the first positions we need to sort when we get to the summer. Alfred said we need to restart the squad. Yes, we've got to. Let them not forget Rashford. Not at all. I think they are eager to take the 75 million that is reportedly being prepared by PSG. Alfred Sendo says we need to restart this squad. Yes, we need to, but we can't do it at once. You see, if you overhaul the squad at once, it has to be subtle. You see the way we signed how many players in the last summer? I think 4 or thereabout. We signed Onana, Amrabat, Højlund, Mount. Was there anyone else? And those are the players we signed the last summer. 4 players. Yeah? So even the next summer, bring another 4. Then in Jan, bring another 4 thereabout. But imagine if we let go, we let go of, because we have to lose more than 11 players. Now we cannot lose all of them at a go. Fernandes was loaned to Benfica, I think. Alvaro Fernandes. I think he was loaned to Benfica. Yeah, he was loaned to Benfica. And there were reports at some point that we were contemplating bringing him back from his loan. I think he's getting 20, but you see, yeah, he has played 4 games for Benfica. 4 games, only 4 games. So even at Benfica, he's not really getting a lot of playing time. I don't think he's promising, he's for the future, but I don't think he's the left back we want to rely on to come and step up that role, that position. I think it would be too much on him. I don't think that is. I don't think it's the solution to our left back's problems. It's not the. It's not the short. We need a short-term solution to the left back, not a long-term one. So he's good. He's promising, but maybe for the future. So yeah, we need to restart Alfred. I agree, but we need to do it in a subtle way. We can't. And you see, subtle way means make the major. You see how Erik Ten Hag made the major changes he wanted to make, brought the marquee players, then sort the others. So for me, the major positions are the ones I spoke about. Then you can sort the others slowly in phases. There should be a phases to an overhaul. Phase one, phase two. It's not like it's like give it some days to become firm. Then the structure, give it some days. Then is it what they call the slab? Think the slab. Then give the slab some days before you can put the roof. Then after putting the roof, then you have to do the ceiling. Then after the ceiling, give it some time to dry. Then you do the finishing. So you see, it's a process. We are rebuilding a house. Man United is now a dilapidated house that needs rebuilding. Or we need to build a new house. So do you build a new house at once, or do you do it in phases? You've got to do it in phases. So that's what I expect to do. But the phases depend on now. For United, we know what is the most important department to sort. Those are the four I mentioned. Because the left back has added itself on the list. Before it wasn't there, but now it's there. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much. It's been an awesome, nearly 50 minutes, really. Thank you so much. We'll be back again tomorrow. And of course, we will be looking more at a press conference reaction. Probably tomorrow, Erik Ten Hag will speak and we get to see what exactly he talks about the game. And we also look at our chances of beating this Liverpool team. But also we'll have a confirmation on whether Højlund will be in the team or not. If he's not, we will again talk about the Pro Bowl 11 without him. But that's it for now. Have yourselves a very, very, very good night. And God bless you. Bye-bye.